Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm also extremely grateful to be back. I feel almost as if I've let you guys down. Everyone else has spoken about James Corden and Harry on the bus, but I had been unable to bring you my opinion due to the fact that somehow or someone reset or changed the settings on my YouTube channel. I was unable to read any community posts, and for a day I was unable to actually access my own channel. All I could do on YouTube was watch other people's videos. Anyway, the problem wasn't as big as I thought initially, and it was sorted out within a couple of hours. I did, however, then had to scan my laptop for viruses, etc., as there was also an attempt to get third-party access to my laptop. Luckily, in my stupidity, I got such a big fright, I just completely switched my laptop off and left it off for a couple of hours, which I found out afterwards was the best thing I could have done. Anyway, that's over and done with. So let me quickly give you my opinion on the James Corden and Harry Windsor video, and let me tell you what I think about it. Well, I think that straight away Harry showed us exactly who he is, his petulance, and although I know a lot of people found it funny when he said, us royals do not carry cash, when James told him he must just pay his fare and then hop on. I found that very petulant, others found it funny, but that is me. Harry then tells how it's his first time on an open-top bus and that he was never allowed to ride on an open bus, and he obviously makes us think that it was for security reasons, and perhaps it was. They exposed on the open top of a bus, and I guess there's always the possibility of someone shooting from a building or whatever the case may be. Anyway, I think then in order for him not to sound paranoid, he sort of recovers himself and he says that he always wanted to take a tour like that. So good for him. Basically, the only thing I found funny about the whole video was when they were served a right royal English tea with cakes, etc. The bus went through a pothole and the tea goes flying all over Harry. Harry then says a swear word which they blank out. I thought that was rather funny. James then takes him to a home, which is the house where they filmed The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and immediately after their arrival, Harry announced that he needs a pee, and he actually says as much. He says, "I actually need a pee." He's then taken into the house, and a couple of seconds later, he pops his head through the bathroom window and tells James that if he's not out in 5 minutes, James should come look for him. Now, once again, they employ the canned laughter, and it's supposed to be hysterically funny. I don't find it funny at all. Why would he tell James to come look for him if he's not out in 5 minutes? Doesn't Harry know how to use a toilet? What has he been doing all this time? Did he have someone else to wipe his behind, or was he wearing nappies? I wonder. I mean, how can anyone get lost in a toilet? Anyway, then James obviously thinks that the house where The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was filmed is the ideal place for Harry and Meghan to reside, and he jokingly tries to convince them to purchase that home, and he even asks the owners whether the house is for sale. The owners obviously say that everything has a price, they must make an offer. And then a strange thing happens. James then tells Harry that he does not think that he Harry is capable of making such a decision. He takes Harry's phone and he phones Meghan. Now again, canned laughter is employed, blah blah blah, but to me this was sort of a slap in Harry's face, because what is James actually saying? James is actually saying that he's well aware of the fact that Meghan wears the pants in their household, I think, in my opinion. Anyway, so he phones Meghan, he shows her the home, and I actually have to give her credit here. She saves the whole situation by saying that she thinks they've moved enough for now. Then she asks Harry how the trip is going, and of course she calls him Has. Yeah, what shall we say about this? This is obviously not original, as by now, as you may have heard on other channels, Chelsea Davy used to call Harry Has. Then back on the bus, James asks Harry how he knew Meghan was the one. And Harry goes on to explain and says that on the second date he knew it was special. Harry then lapses into an explanation of how dating a royal goes down. He explains that the initial dates are private dinners, watching TV, or chatting at home, and only then, eventually, once you are a couple, you venture out for dinner, cinema, etc. And of course, Harry is now indicating that dating a royal sort of is upside down, wrong side round, whereas normal people would normally first go out on dates and then have private time. Theirs are the other way round. And of course, he's again pointing fingers at the media intruding on his privacy, blah, blah, blah. Something I found significant is the fact that he said that their relationship went from 0 to 60 in the first 2 months. Now that is rather concerning, wouldn't you think? I don't think it's healthy for a relationship to develop that quickly or to become serious that quickly. And of course, I think William and Prince Philip both thought the same, and that is why they asked Harry to put the brakes on a little and to get to know the girl first. But of course, petulant, spoiled Harry wouldn't hear anything about that, and he found it very offensive that his grandfather and his brother could actually give him such brilliant and very good advice. I know some people are actually joking and said that Harry made a mistake and that he should have said from 0 to 69. But that's neither here nor there, and let's carry on. James asks what a typical night in is like for Harry and Meghan, and Harry talks about cooking or ordering a meal, putting Archie to bed, and then going to their bedroom watching Jeopardy or Netflix. And eventually, at the end of the video, Harry has mentioned Netflix a total of 3 times. So yay for Netflix! Harry did his job and he earned, I guess, a little bit of the revenue promised to him by giving them a pluck or by giving them a little bit of advertising. Anyway, James then asks how he feels about The Crown, and Harry responds that it is fiction based on true events and that he is way more comfortable with The Crown than he is with the stories written about him and his wife. Now again, I found this rather offensive because I read that Harry asked that The Crown would stop before he enters the story. So I guess he does not mind his grandparents and parents being thrown under the bus, as long as it's not him and his Queen of Yachts. Asked who he would like to play him, he says Damian Lewis. Now it took me quite a while to stop laughing because although Damian Lewis has a red beard, I actually like Damian Lewis. I think he's a brilliant actor, and I would not like for him to stoop as low as to play Harry in The Crown. Again, my opinion, just me. Then Harry tells that Archie's first word was crocodile. Well, many people are saying that it is unlikely, and I would have joined the chorus if it wasn't for the fact that my grandson's first word was visvang. Visvang is an Afrikaans word that means fishing. Yes, I took him fishing when he was about 14 months old, and from that day on, each time we got into the car, he would go, visvang, 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 visvang. And he would drive us nuts. He also would go and get his little net and start nagging, visvang, 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 and eventually he would stomp his feet and yell, visvang. So we were finally very grateful when he could eventually say mama. Then Harry goes on to tell James about his grandmother wanting to know what Archie wanted for Christmas. And what everyone so far missed is that he said, and Meg said, a waffle maker. And then his grandmother sent Archie a waffle maker. Now, well, this shows me that exactly what we think of Meghan is true, because when asked what Archie wanted, instead of naming some toy or something that Archie could use and enjoy, she said a waffle maker, because obviously that's what she wanted. So who cares about what Archie would enjoy? It's all about Meghan. Even Archie's Christmas present is about Meghan. Okay, he goes on to talk about how much he enjoys the waffles that Meghan makes and how much Archie enjoys the waffles that Meghan makes. And then there are some people who also are saying that waffle is sort of slang for something else. I don't know. I've read it. I read the write-ups on it, urban slang, etc., etc. Whether that's what he meant, whether it's not, I don't know. To me, it's just all about Meghan. What Meghan wants. Even Archie's Christmas gift is what Meghan wants. Then comes the part where few people paid attention to, yet for me, this is the most important part. James asks Harry what he envisions for them living in LA, and Harry answers, a slightly different version, but a continuation of what we were doing in the UK anyway. So what is Harry actually telling us here? Harry is actually telling us that they are planning on being royals in the United States. They will continue doing what they're doing, and whether they do it as royals or whether they do it as Meghan and Harry, they will just be doing what they're doing regardless of what anyone thinks or anyone says about it. He continues, my life will always be about public service, and Meghan signed up for that, and the two of us enjoy doing that. Blah, 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 making people happy and try and change the world in any small way we can. Once again, this shows us the range of their delusion. The platform that they will have as non-royals cannot, in any reasonable person's mind, be compared to the platform they had as royals in the UK. Yet, this is not what Harry and Meghan thinks. They think that they are bigger than the monarchy. and they think that they can create their own platform in competition with the monarchy. And this he actually confirms, because then James asks him why he decided to leave the royal family. And Harry says, it was never walking away, it was stepping back rather than stepping down. Now, again, it's total delusion. Harry basically resigned, he got on a plane, and he flew to LA. Now, what is that but walking away? Well, I guess he took it literally, and he meant that he didn't walk away, he actually got on a private plane and flew away, because otherwise I do not understand what he's trying to say here. But once again, it points us in the direction of their delusion of grandeur. Regardless of their royal patronages being taken away, Harry and Meghan will still believe that they are still royal. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They still don't get it. Anyway, it may also be true that this was taped before those patronages were officially removed. Anyway, he continues by saying, it was a very difficult environment. And when he says things like that, I honestly feel like punching him in the face. And I'm the least aggressive person I have ever met. But this is the kind of reaction they get from me when they talk about things like that. A very difficult environment, people, where about £3 million was spent on the perfect home for them, where they got a multi-million dollar or pound wedding, where they had housekeepers, secretaries, cooks, chefs, private planes, chauffeurs, helicopter pilots, you name it, at their beck and call, 24/7, yet it was a difficult environment. Clearly, Harry has forgotten what a difficult environment looks like. Then he continues, we all know what the British press can be like, and it was destroying my mental health. Here again, the man is 36, turning 37. When is he ever going to grow up? I do believe that it can be very irritating when each time you poke your nose out the door, there may or may not be a camera. However, I think Harry will do well by taking a few lessons from his sister-in-law, the Duchess of Cambridge. Catherine has obviously mastered the art of pacifying the media. And how does she do this? Well, every couple of months or so, she takes a few photographs of her children, or her children and her husband, or her children, her husband and herself, and she makes it available to the media. Now us, as the public, what do we want? Well, we are interested in seeing the children grow up, we're interested in seeing them being healthy, we're interested in seeing the general change in them, just like we would be with our own children or grandchildren. It's nice to see them progress and to grow up. And this is what Catherine does. And in that way, by seeing the photographs that she puts out, we are satisfied. We can see the children are happy and healthy, and that's all we want to know about. So you do not have the paparazzi poking their noses over walls or sending drones to try and capture these children in private moments. And this is because there is no need for it. Harry and Meghan created their own drama by being so secretive and so mysterious. Anyway, I think if Harry could learn just to, when he sees a camera, just smile and wave and move on, he will have way less issues But once again, this also points to his paranoia, because I've listened to one of the royal biographers, and it is said that Harry is indeed paranoid when it comes to the press, that he often would call on people and say, look, they are looking at me again, there they are, and when there are in fact not a single photographer around. But obviously Harry wouldn't accept that, and he would keep arguing. Anyway, he goes on to say, this is toxic, so I did what any husband and any father, I need to get my family out of here. But we never walked away. Harry, you just said you needed to get your family out of there. You took your family out of there, or your wife took your family out of there. So how could you not have walked away? Had you not walked away or taken that private jet, you would actually still be there, my son. I honestly think that Harry has had too much of Meghan's juice. And I think it's gone to his head and scrambled his brain. Anyway, then he says, and as far as I'm concerned, whatever decisions are made on that side, I will never walk away. I will always be contributing. But my life is public service. That sounds very good, but what will they be contributing to? And basically, what Harry is telling us here is exactly the reason why they left the royal family or they were kicked out. Because what he is telling us here is that he will continue public service, but he will do it when he wants to. He will do what he wants to. He will do it with whom he wants to. And of course, that doesn't work in the royal family. So once again, this is what I took from this whole 17-minute broadcast, and I must say I wasn't very impressed. It just once again pointed fingers at the things that we already think we know. Their petulance, their delusions of grandeur, their narcissism, etc., etc. So, my friends, this is what I thought about James Corden and Harry Windsor's little outing in LA. And once again, I feel that there's only one remedy, and that is for those titles to be taken away. Okay, people, this was a very long video, so for now, until I'm back with the next video, which will be around about Wednesday, please take care of yourselves, and until I see you, from me, bye.